you can do this. Like it sounds good, but I wouldn't go in that game blind.
Stop.
I wouldn't go in that game. That's casino to me. All this shit is that shit like a casino. Like, I mean, you bet off, to me, honestly, you might as well, if you want to just go see what you can do, go to the casino.
And I got too much money.
No, I don't. I got too much here. Like, I ain't got half the money people like got hundreds of millions of dollars, but I don't need all that to be me. Like, I don't need, I done more than most, I done more than probably Mayweather. I ain't probably never have seen his money. I ain't gonna knock that. I ain't gonna say I ain't, but at the same time, I ain't tripping if I don't. But money ain't make me who I am, and I think people think that now because I'm here now. But if you go look back, you ain't gonna find a bad story in my life.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it there. No, this is what I want you all to understand. Just like he said, if you invest in rental real estate or rental property, your property tax may be $10,000 a month. The same thing as he said that, buy your houses outright, don't buy a loan, don't get a loan. Well, you're going to have property taxes on that residential house too, right? And so taxes is your biggest stealer of wealth and inflation. Let me show you an example. And I saw some people on that video that commented, yeah, my grandparents, right? My grandparents, they saved up cash and they purchased everything in cash, all right? Let's look at inflation, which is the silent income killer, right? The silent tax that people don't pay attention to. And this is why people have to combine credit with income. For the people that says, in 1960s, my grandmother didn't have to work, right? My grandfather went to work and he paid all the bills. You know how much that home was for a medium average home in 1970? It was $17,000. Now, the median household income was $8,000, right? So we're looking at approximately $8,000 to $9,000 different of a whole purchase for a house versus an annual income, $8,000 to $9,000 difference. So in 2 to 3 years, you can totally either save up to buy a house cash, right? Or even if you got it financed, you can pay it off in 2 to 3 years, right? Now, 1971, President Nixon removed the dollar off of the gold standard. It was no longer supported by real money, which was gold, right? I have a video on my YouTube channel. You all definitely need to watch. It's how the Wizard of Oz, how that portrays the gold and silver standard. The first Great Depression was not in 1930s, right? It was actually in 1896. And so a lot of people like farmers and people that were more low income wanted to add the silver to the gold standard, right? To back the currency, the cash, the currency that was printed out. So they can have more available fiat currency to loan to farmers and people of the lower income, because at that time, only the rich and wealthy could get credit. It's just how important credit is. And the Wizard of Oz depicts all of this. In the movie, right, Dorothy had on red ruby slippers, but in the actual book, in the writing, they were silver. Then you have the Yellow Brick Road, which represented the gold and the gold and silver standard. Then you have the Scarecrow, which represented the farmers, and the Tin Man, which represented the industrial age, right? And then you have the lion, the courage and the people that want to speak up and fight against this. And then you have behind the scenes, let me stop sharing this so you all can see. You have behind the scenes the curtain, right? The curtain, and you would think that behind this curtain, it seems this powerful talking person, you think and you find out that once it was this small little man behind the curtain in the Wizard of Oz controlling everything. And that represents the feds, right? the feds, and what people don't know, that they are powerful. They really are powerful. But if you know the right way to fight the feds and taxes, especially through home-based business, you can see that they're very small. But when people don't have the knowledge to do that, they can't fight this big, powerful image, right? That's really small once you get the financial education. So yeah, that's a hell of a video. And I try to teach the simple things, the complex things in very simple ways. So I know you never looked at The Wizard of Oz like that, but that shows, or it tells about the 1896, the first Great Depression that people don't know about, and why they wanted to add silver to the gold standard to back the dollar. Now, what happened when President Nixon in 1971 removed the dollar from being connected to the gold standard, which means that minimum amount of dollars could be contributed, right, into society. It's all about supply and demand. What happens 10 years or 9 years after that? Look, medium home prices increased by $30,000. $30,000, but income only increases by $9,000. Look at the ratio. And then you have in 1970 an additional $32,000 increase, and then another $9,000 or $10,000. So you have home prices increasing 3x by $30,000 on average, versus $9,000 to $10,000 of income. So this is why you will always be in the rat race, and people had to depend on credit, because you could not save enough money to afford these things, right? Because of inflation. Inflation outpaced your income, or the increase was higher than your income. So then you have higher increased prices on homes, groceries, gas, right? Entertainment, recreational activities, maintenance on vehicles. Vehicles begin to appreciate. And so the income was always 2 times smaller than inflation. And then you're getting taxed out of your paycheck, right? And so this is why the Dave Ramsey advice of get a job, pay everything for cash, because you're already only bringing home 60 to 70 cents on the dollar out of your paycheck, because now you have been changed from a physical slave in the field picking for cotton to now an economic slave working for the feds, because cash is made of 75% cotton. So you are still picking cotton, right? But you're just not using Eli Whitney's cotton gin to make the master wealthy. They're doing it, and they have you picking cotton, no matter what your race is or ethnic group, by being an employee. And until you learn how to get back legally that 30 to 40 cents out of your dollar, then you have inflation and you have taxes. You'll always be hustling backwards and dependent on credit, right? Truth Seeker said that's why people are afraid of progression, because all of responsibility, yes, they don't want progression. All the responsibility falls on them. That's why I have people on my Facebook page that tell me, broke people, right? They say things like, the love of money is the root of all evil, right? And me and my friend guy was just discussing this as well. And even the church teach people this, but every Sunday you ask for this evilness. Why are we bringing evil into the church? And I know some people will say, well, the church doesn't love money, right? The Bible says or states, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And the church doesn't love money. The church just needs money to function and to help others. Well, if you didn't love it, then you wouldn't beg for it. I'm going to be honest with you. Most churches offers hope without a solution, right? Offers hope without a solution. Hope. Let's hope your bills get paid. All right. Let's hope an unexpected check comes in the mail. Let's hope someone unexpectedly drops you a blessing. And I ask them all the time, listen, then I have people that say on my Facebook page that rich people are the most depressed people. They always, they're depressed or suicidal. I ask them, how would you know? You're not even in the company of rich people. You're not even, you're not around. You see stuff on the television and these Inquirer magazines that they make billions off of selling gossip, and you take that and run with it. So I asked them the question. I said, when do you think Tyler Perry was the most happiest, right? When he was homeless or now that he's a billionaire? He looks mighty happy to me as a billionaire, right? Versus when he was living in his vehicle and struggling and homeless and trying to get his dream or his passion out to the world to be the man that he is now, right? So Charming, Brian says, credit queen. The straw man is based off the capital letter 9. Thank you, Shannon, Brian. I surely forgot that. Not just the farmers in the first Great Depression, 1896, but you're right. The straw man through our birth certificates, given at birth, and that we can see, and that a lot of people do teach about the UCC rights of not being the legal straw man to discharge your debts, right? A ship that is birthed. So thank you so much on that, bringing it out about the Wizard of Oz. Right, money does give you options, right? Money is not meant to give you happiness or sadness. It's meant to give you comfortability. It's meant to give you comfortability. Now, it can produce happiness or sadness, right? It can take you places, take you on vacations, let you meet new people, give you options, do some things, do some recreational things, where you're not struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, right? So it can produce happiness, but at the end of the day, happiness is still an internal, right? Internal job. That money is not money jobs to do that. It's meant to give you comfortability and to give you options and experiences, right? And yes, welcome back, Mr. Mentor. No, I did not. He said job means persecution in Hebrew. I did not know that. Thank you so much, Brian, for bringing it to my attention. JM says, well, I guess my parents and grandparents were different from the rest of the world. They taught us credit was okay, but to use it wisely and to live comfortably, but below what you can actually make. That was great, wise decision, right? Easy says, by the way, Queen, you're looking beautiful. Maybe one day we can have a dinner sitting next to me in church. I don't know, Easy. You're going to want to talk about how the Republicans and Democrats can help us. And I'm trying to get people to understand to help themselves, right? So let's talk